In the previous solo episodes, we talked about how 3 questions can help us design our dream life. Who are you? Where are you? And what do you want? In the last episode, we took a deeper dive specifically into the first question, who are you? By sharing some of Simon Sinek's work, Start with Why. If you didn't listen to that and you don't know your why, then definitely go back and listen. In just a few minutes, you can figure out your why and who you are, your values, and what you stand for. As a next step, though, in today's episode, we'll take a huge leap toward naming and claiming a very specific big dream, because we'll start to understand why goal setting isn't important yet, and how to get a crystal clear vision first. Now, I think you know I'm a huge believer in big dreams. One of my favorite books of all time by Bob Goff is literally called Dream Big, and I think that term is the exact perfect terminology that we need to use in every single school right now. A lot of people on social media and business talk about the idea of a niche or a niche and think that something like pursuing big dreams is not niche enough. The hilarious thing is, if we figure out our why, our how, and our what, and chase our big dream, it does not get any more specific than that, because that is 100% specific to the individual, to the person. It scales as much as our DNA, in that we all will have one very, very, very specific unique thing if we are truly being ourselves. So we do need big dreams. We need to create them, we need to pursue them, but I also understand that without a system, without some habits and next steps, a dream remains stuck in our minds. We were watching the Arnold documentary the other day, and it was talking about goal setting. Schwarzenegger said, "Without a vision, who cares about the dream?" Now, this comes from one of the biggest dreamers in the history of mankind. So what is going on here? It's simple, really. In order to achieve our dreams, we need to have clarity. We need to have a crystal clear vision of what it looks like so we can develop the right strategies over time. If you don't want to be famous and recognizable by your face, then you probably shouldn't be out there creating a YouTube channel that uses your face. You should probably be doing something a little more like podcasting, behind the scenes, audio only. However, if you want to build a personal brand where you may be recognized walking down the street, then you could be creating on YouTube, or creating short form video where you're putting yourself out there with your appearance and all. And both of those answers are great. It doesn't matter. And this is the point about it being very specific once we figure it out, because the question becomes, what do you want? So we have to dream first, but then we create our vision of that dream before we go on to setting goals. Over my career as an educator, I've learned that nothing pisses a teenager off more than having a teacher or parent come at them with yet another goal-setting exercise. And to me, I completely agree. While I don't think a 16-year-old can articulate why they hate goal setting, at least they are right in hating it. Strategy and goals are important eventually. Let's call that the how to achieve your dream. But that how, while it will be important eventually, it's not important yet. And this is something that, as an onlooker, seeing teachers or parents or people wanting to set goals with youth, or even adults themselves being like, I need a new goal. It's like, well, do you? Because they don't know what their dream is yet. They don't have a vision. How could you possibly set a goal? So at first, much like Arnold explains in the documentary, you have to be able to paint the picture in your mind first. Don't let the dream be fuzzy or blurry at all. Get super crystal clear on exactly what you want. Kind of like Conor McGregor talked about when he said,
if you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality.
So the power of seeing it and being able to speak it out into the universe is clear, and the question then becomes, can you see it? Do you have a clear dream? There's an incredible clarity test in John Maxwell's book, Put Your Dream to the Test, and the questions are, can you explain the dream in one sentence? Can you answer any question about what the dream is? Have you spent many hours defining this dream in detail? Have you written a clear description of the dream that includes its main features or objectives? And does the dream align with your current values and purpose? Now, all of those things can help us go from our why to the actual dream, but what makes it really clear? It's important to note that we don't have to have it all figured out. In fact, it's important that we don't. And that could be confusing if we're trying to get quote-unquote crystal clear. We should not be vague or confusing. We need to find middle ground right now. We don't need to know all of the steps yet, but we do need specific achievements as opposed to general ideas. When you look at the characteristics of a clear dream, you'll get a gut feeling whether or not you are clear on your own. So here are some examples that can show you the difference. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, you could say, I will write a book on how to be an effective leader, and I'll publish it by December 31st. Instead of saying, I will get in shape, say something like, I will finish in the top 25% of the field in the Spartan race next May. I could go on and on with examples, but I think you get the idea. And if not, just read those two again or read one of them. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, you say, I will write a book on the topic of cooking by November 1st. It's still specific, but there are no specific goals, steps, or how we're going to get there. We're still just trying to set the dream, achieve a clear vision, and then we can worry about how and what we're going to do to achieve it. Now, another big misconception is that our dreams come clear to us just like sitting on the couch or going for a jog. It's just like, boom, all of a sudden this dream pops in our head while we're driving or sitting on the bus, that it's easy and it happens quickly. But this simply is not true. That's a misconception about having a clear dream. It's not necessarily easy, and it does not necessarily happen quickly. For most of us, dream creation takes time and effort. It's a process. It took me forever, it feels like, to figure out the clarity and vision of creating, sharing, and accomplishing things around this Just Keep Learning podcast. It doesn't happen overnight. We know we are going to get closer and closer the more that we feel intrinsically connected to what we're doing. And when we get more and more feelings of alignment, not from the outside, but from within, we know that this dream is starting to take shape. But doing the work to get really clear is well worth it, because then we can set our priorities. We can build systems. We can create habits that are in alignment with that vision. Oh, and the best thing is that we never have to worry about motivation again. I love this quote from one of my favorite speakers of all time, Les Brown. He says, find out what it is you want and go after it as if your life depends on it, because it does. When we get crystal clear on a vision, we don't have to worry about motivation because we're so aligned with that we want to do it more intrinsically. And the systems and habits we set up to achieve it, like I will record Monday and Wednesday, Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and I will reach out to potential guests Tuesday and Thursday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We just do those things because they're on our calendar and we're committed to them because we're so aligned with the vision. And motivation isn't a thing anymore. It's one of the coolest feelings in the world. Now, how do we gain clarity of our dream? We know how to test to see that we have clarity. We know why it's valuable and the difference between a very general, vague idea and a crystal clear vision. But how do you gain clarity of that dream? If you lack any clarity at all, then take the time to do some of these activities. Take a walk and reflect simply on why you think that you lack clarity. What do you think would help you get more clear on your dream? Painting a picture. Visualize, describe, and even record what your big dream looks like. If you were to paint this picture in your mind, how would you feel? Dream big, but be super specific in terms of what you see and add as much detail as possible. You could create a dream board that you cut scrapbook pictures and words out and put onto a poster and watch that take shape as well. Or I love this activity, the idea of inside info or intel. Conduct an interview with someone who has achieved a big, audacious dream. Like a detective, you can learn from them, and this could be a mentor or a hero or someone you don't know yet, but make an appointment to ask them some questions about how they set their vision, how clear they were, and how long it took to get clear, and how once they got clear, they were able to not lose sight of that vision. Famous dreamers. Similarly, learning from others, we can dive into the biographies of people who have achieved their own big dreams. We can make observations of what their dreams were and how they made them a reality. And then journaling. A classic, but like a cliche, it exists as a classic for a reason. Take a couple of weeks and over that time, just jot things down about your dream and how clear it is. As you brainstorm and write, use prompts like, what emotions do you feel about it? How does it align with your purpose? What does your gut say? How could you add more of your values to your dreams? What other artists or creations are inspiring you? Do your unique life experiences and goals influence this? Have you talked to other people about their dreams or about yours even? And what details do you think are missing from that dream? Now finally, take the time to rewrite your vision. This is the only specific must-do step for regaining clarity. Let's say you did some of these activities, the journaling, painting a picture, going for a walk, interviewing someone, and you've done this work to answer prompts about why you lack clarity. It is really important to rewrite what that crystal clear vision is. List all of the specific objectives of the dream in bullet points with as much detail as possible. Then, write a single sentence that summarizes your dream, your vision clearly. Put this up-to-date version of your dream in writing, and a really fun thing, and beyond fun, just helpful, is to post it somewhere you will see it every single day. To everyone in this JKL community, I appreciate you so much. I just can't say thank you enough to those of you who pass the show on to others, because at the end of the day with podcasting, it's really, I won't say the only way, but definitely the most valuable way that a show grows, because it specifically then connects with people that you think it can help. And in that way, I just appreciate you so much. If you have any ideas, tips, input, thoughts about the show, potential guests for interview episodes, just reach out. Don't hesitate. I love creating on socials together too. Just collaborating as one big community is incredible. Thank you so much. Until the next episode, all the best. And remember, just keep learning.